The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
We're live. Okay, so this is it. This is part of the Bill DeMott experience. Look, I put my cigar in my hand, and my wife won't let me light it. The funniest part about this broadcast right now is how long it took us to figure this out. I'm sitting here with Big G, also known as Tyrus right now to the world, but I call him Big G, and he's got that look on his face. I got this look on my face because we just spent the past hour and a half trying to do a video call, and we've had 14 conversations on the telephone.
Yes.
What? I mean, this is how my podcast is going to go for the rest of my life. Either this is going to be the shortest podcast show in the history of the world because I can't figure the damn thing out, or people are just going to stop talking to me.
I'm pushing the button. And I spent 45 minutes looking at myself, so I started questioning a lot of things. I'm not really sure about this beard anymore because I've stared at it for so long. Like, no one told me I look like Abe Lincoln.
Well, that's it. Once you get a look at it, that's why I'm sitting here with this hat on and these headphones, and Lacey's like,
my second hat. The first one I sweated through because I got so frustrated. I had to trade hats. So I started out with a nice new hat, and now I'm this.
Well, so I'll send you one of these fine tailor-made chapeaus.
Coach, you look all coachy, refined. No more dye on the beard and stuff.
A little bit of gray. It's the new thing, and people, I don't know, people dig it. I guess. I'm doing
on like Facebook and stuff. Congratulations on the Little League stuff. I just can't. Baseball is pretty cool. The coaching stuff. I'm still a few years before I get to step in that genre, but I did a little bit of it with Snoop with the young kids, so it's definitely an experience.
It's been unbelievable. It started out as just because you could only make it with your schedule, right, as so much, yeah. And then as my schedule was freed up, I just took it on, and it turned out everything cleared up at the time when the boys were getting ready for the States, and man, it's the longest season. I mean, they just finished a month ago, and practice starts in 2 weeks. So either I have to renew my contract with the baseball commissioner or figure this out because
baseball commissioner for young boys playing baseball. Amazing. Of course, commissioner. Absolutely.
Listen, there's draft day. We're going to assessments. There's the draft. I went last year. And I'm talking about these boys are 7, 8, and 9, and Butchie's 6. So he's skilled up. And they're literally bargaining for hours. Okay, well, I'll give you him if you give me him because I liked his brother. And I'm sitting there going,
what happened to line them up? You, come with me.
Yeah. Hey, you 4 go over there. You go, and then someone takes the kid with the glasses. He turns out to be the best player, and we move on. But now it's the States in the playoffs, and it's the funny thing is, I said it to nobody understood me on the baseball field, but I kept telling them there was politics in everything.
Oh, yeah, little kid sports because everyone's got the next, next Ken Griffey Jr. The next Derek Jeter.
And I think I was I was the token rotund guy because there was a couple of guys that were in their 60s who said, "I remember you when I was in high school," and I had to walk to third base. And
that sounds about right. Yeah. I get that now, which is nice. It's always nice for a 65-year-old remembering his first dance was to somebody call your mama. Oh, for real? Really? Seriously? I didn't realize I was doing it in the 40s.
God, Doug.
People
suck.
Yeah. Why do you do that?
So catch me up. I saw I follow your stuff, and you were in South Africa.
Yeah, I was in South Africa.
First time?
TJ Black, who's one of a close personal friend. He when friends come to you with great ideas, it's never a great idea. He had a promoter who wanted to book me and him in South Africa, And and that's where he's from. He doesn't get a chance to go home much.
Right,
So
right.
gave the guy the idea if he'd fly us in early, he'd get a few extra days.
Right.
And when I go on the road, it's like I go as close as I can get to the day, and then I'm out as soon as possible. Because I'm trying to get back to the kids. So I don't want to be gone, for too long. So I'm like, you know what? This is important to you. You're my boy. I got you. So we'll go early. We're going 5 days early. Vacation in South Africa with my dear friend. They booked our travel accordingly. After the first 8-hour layover in Toronto, where I was like, okay, did you bother looking at the ticket? And then we had a 12-hour layover in London.
Aren't you supposed to be going in the other direction?
Yeah. Well, we went to Toronto, to London, to Africa. But each layover got longer. And it was 12 hours in London. So I spent 12 hours in an Air Canada lounge in London. I was like, well, this is nice. We ended up it took us basically 2 days to get to Africa. So he actually got one extra day with his family. And being stuck with me, in the airport lounge for 12 hours is not with me just staring at him going, did you bother to look at the tickets? Did it cross your mind?
And he's such a character anyway. He was probably losing his mind.
Oh, and he was like, and his poor mother, because, he lives in South Africa. He doesn't get to go home ever.
And she's waiting for him with a full table of dinner for 2 days, and he didn't show up.
She really pushed me out of the way to see her son. I thought I was watching like an episode of Color Purple where the sisters got back together, like it was just like you. And I was like, that's what it's like to have parents. So I'll just stand right here while this woman's crying and holding your face, and I'm just gonna stand here for a while. So
45 minutes later, you introduce yourself.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go. So I just, but the promotion was great. I wrestled the legend, who was the Tornado. He's been a South African, like the mainstay. He's been the guy in South Africa for about 20 years or whatever. And he came out of retirement to wrestle me, which was kind of cool. And actually PJ's father was the Pink Panther, who was like the man in South Africa. And he used to book all territories and stuff. So, but it was funny. PJ worked a local hero guy, and the local hero guy assumed that PJ had been soft or whatever, and so PJ knocked him out with a left kick in the ring. And I'm like, well, there's one finish, 2, 3, 4. That guy's out. And PJ's going to keep hitting until he wakes up. So, and then, but it was a good trip and stuff, and the trip home wasn't too bad, but it was cool. South Africa was cool, and I literally stepped off the plane in South Africa and then turned around. We had 9 days of TNA tapings to go to. So
holy jeez. Well, it's the double-edged sword, right? You got to be careful what you ask for. Yeah,
you want to be busy, you want to be working. I mean, that's and I think a lot of guys don't realize that, there's so much work out there, and I've been lucky, because I got a big mouth to go with the big body. So, I started doing the Fox News thing with Greg Gutfield, and that ended up pretty cool. And that's a lot of fun. I'll continue to do that periodically. Like I think I'll be there one more time this month, and which is cool, kind of cool to show that wrestlers are more than just because all the bad. We love that, but
you can talk. I've always said that, and while we weren't talking on this because we couldn't figure out the technology. I was saying to Lacey, I'm like, one of the few. You're right up there with like the Matt Stryker. Knowledge of the business, and that's a compliment. So I don't know where you stand.
Matt is literally was my ears and eyes. It was like, go by there. That guy's mad at you. Like Matt was my guy behind the scenes when I was my time in the WWE, and him and I cheated through the entire NXT. I had all the answers to like how much the book magazine prices were because Matt was feeding it to me. He all gimmicked my Matt. I can tell it now. It doesn't matter, but. We had a pinata contest and Stryker gimmicked my thing. So everyone else had their pros. I had the inside track, but Stryker was back deep south.
I'm gonna have Matt on the podcast soon to him. But the point of you guys wrestling knowledge, just fans of the business, and then you can talk. I mean, people, to your point, you stared and looked at yourself with that beard, but you're an intelligent cat. And it's funny that, that's the point for me of doing these things. Cause I know you've done, interviews and people get to talk to you, but they get surprised, right? I think you probably hear that more times than not after the fact, that they go, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah,
I get that, especially with like diehard wrestling shows, because when they see a character that's a problem that we have in this business. They don't realize we play in characters, and when we go home, I'm not in a tracksuit. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't understand that sometimes, and that's when a lot of the things that happen in the press and stuff lately don't realize that it's not the guy you grew up watching on TV for 2 hours a week. It's another guy, and I went to college. I had life before wrestling. It's just that I grew up a diehard fan. And we used to have that conversation. You used to yell at me all the time, like, quit trying to be the wrestler you wanted to be as a little kid.
Yeah.
That's who you are. You have to be what we need you to be, because he's like, you're a fan trying to wrestle. Stop being a fan trying to wrestle, and because you want to do everything. You want to put a guy in a figure four leg lock, or my Indian death lock I wanted to do, or whatever. Right. And then he's like, yeah, you do it, then everybody can do it. Like, you're a big guy. This is what you have to do. So fans don't get that, unfortunately. But
it's funny. It's fun. It's funny to watch, but I dig it because, as people, you get to go, because I think it's cool that they don't get it. I think that's the mystique of it. I just hate when it turns in the other direction, when they try to use that, against you. And we won't even go there, but they, people have to understand the cat they see for 2 hours once or twice or 3 times a week isn't necessarily the guy that's in front of them.
Yeah.
So
it's like,
let's
go ahead.
Tell me quick about I want to touch on you mentioned Snoop earlier. When's the last time you talked to him?
Actually, his manager Kevin and I we became inseparable. Like and Snoop and I, it's like every once in a while, it's like a text message here or there.
Right.
I don't go to the West Coast as much as I used to, and a few times I was supposed to do a couple of podcast shows with him or his show. I just wasn't able to do it, and I know we're in some talks of doing something with him and Wiz Khalifa. He's got a movie that they're working on. They said they might want me to be in, but for the most part, when I got away from Snoop, I stayed away. Like, it was just
right.
WWE. We never really did anything together while I was there, and then he was gone for most of the time. I was like, when I was up there, and he's back now again. I believe he did a show recently with them, but we just don't ever really be in the same circle at the same time. So when we do see each other, it's all love. But like, I'm horrible about, and this, Barry, I'm horrible about. If it's not in front of me, chances. And it's just, we don't really make plans,
Right. It's tough, but when you can catch up, it's cool. My boy we were watching the All-Star game and the home run derby, and that right after that they had the celebrity softball, and Snoop was on it. And that was my boy's introduction to Snoop Dogg. So I was trying to tell him stories. He looked at me like I was crazy. He goes, no, that guy's great, Dad. Look how entertaining he is. And I went, So he introduced himself to a new generation. But so Snoop, let's just transition a little bit to a young lady I know, and give me your thoughts if you want to. If not, I mean, tell me about Sasha Banks. What do you think about what she's doing?
Sasha, it's funny because Sasha had 2 tryouts, and they're like, I don't know. And then I ran into her, and her uncle had called me, and I just went to William Regal because she was in Boston. They didn't invite her again.
Yep.
And I went to Regal, and I asked him for anything, but I asked for a solid, if you could just give her, and I said, just pay it forward. Someday someone else is going to need it. And she knocked it out of the park,
Yeah.
And the rest has been on her. But I don't follow the product as much as I,
right.
watching them like close friends. Because 3 hours is a long time. Sorry, it is. But for me, I still look when I see like Naomi. I'm still kind of just give her the ball. Just give her the ball. Like when she was with me, she took a step back to help me out. Honestly, and she never should have been a Funkadactyl, but we made it work, and it worked on her personality stuff. But like, she should have had an opportunity to do her own thing for a long time. So, and now she's back in another group. I just don't know if that's whatever. I don't. The group thing never really works because the group thing's been done to death. And why would you form a group of anything if there wasn't a championship for each person?
Right, and now you have to. Now you have to accommodate nine divas as opposed to 3. The biggest thing for Trinity was when it was her nose, right? She got her nose
busted
pretty good, and that kind of stopped all the momentum that she was building. But I agree, she's one of the most athletic, talented. I always loved her attitude.
She can actually hit the scissor leg drop.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, we know somebody that. Hey, roll in the ring for a second. Foxy, come here. What am I doing, Coach? Just let me there. I can't feel my nose, Coach.
Just stay there for a minute. So, how's the baby?
He's big.
24 years old, 6'8".
Yeah, he's 72 pounds.
God,
he's almost 4 feet, right? He's 3.
My God.
And has an answer for everything.
Running roughshod.
He could interview himself if he wanted to. I'm surprised he's just his little ears. He's downstairs playing video games, so he's not coming up going, let me talk. I got things to say. And
I'd love it. He makes me laugh.
Taping's with me, and his new thing is he needs to get taped up. And he's ready to go. He's ready to walk the aisle. And
come on,
sake of telling me he could go, and me getting ready to go out to wrestle Bobby Lashley, trying to explain to my son he couldn't go. And he looked at me as like I betrayed him.
Yeah,
trying to tell him
that's going to come back to haunt you in therapy in about 10 years.
Yeah, but he's had some tough time. I mean, he had one where I was beating his uncle up in the ring, and Grandpa made the save.
Oh.
And, I'm sitting in the car driving back, and my son hasn't really said a word. And he's like, Pa stopped you. And I was like, what? Pa stopped you. He beat you up. I was like, nobody beat Daddy up. Okay?
We did business.
But he said it in a way because he knew what was coming. Bedtime's coming. So he figured just throw that on me to throw me off my game. Like, oh, hey, let's get ready for bed. Pa stopped you. Like,
so delayed bedtime.
But he was very confused, seeing all that, But that's actually one of my career highlights, being in the ring with Ming. That was pretty cool.
And he looks great. I saw him. Well, I guess it has to be 6, 7, 8 months ago. But the guy's like the Tongan Dick Clark. Yeah.
He's actually he's
a little gray.
Mr. Toyota. He wears a little collar at work now and stuff. Still's got his knee brace underneath his khakis, but
just in case,
he's always telling me, if you guys need me, I'll take a step back and I'll help you. Thanks for saying. And he says it just like that. I'll take a step back. I'll come down to that level and get involved. Yeah, but he's one of the good ones. We don't have enough stories about the good ones anymore. You always hear the sad stuff, but there's a lot of guys that transitioned, and they raised a family, and they do their 9 to 5 and stuff, and he's one of the ones that was able to do that. And he look back, and you'll never see him, at an indie show, and your heart breaks because you don't want to see him in that ring anymore. And we see it all the time. The guy's got one more run in him, but you don't.
Yeah.
But
Chick Donovan.
Or guys that. There's some guys. That's the one thing. Like, because people ask me, I learned at Deep South. That was where I learned. I knocked myself out, learned how to roll, all that stuff. Like, I learned my trade Deep South and then transitioned up. I never did indies.
Right.
Never did them. So after this last time, and at first I only did the big indie shows, and now every once in a while I'll do some of the smaller ones, and I meet some really interesting cats. And I've been in the business 12 years. Yeah, how many matches? 6.
Right.
Okay, cool.
And all 6 were with the same guy.
Yeah, and he's a champ. A lot of champs out there. It's almost a point of pride that I've never been one. I almost enjoy that.
I'm trying. I just did a camp that was really good. I spent the weekend with Mickey James and Nick Aldis.
Oh yeah, I saw. I remember that. I saw the ads for that.
So we went up there, and that was one of the conversations we had. And a lot of the guys, you introduced themselves and try to get over that. Oh God, it's Bill DeMott. I'm about to get, and then they realize I'm a human being. What a shock! Oh. And they went. One of the guys said, "Well, I've been doing this for 12 years." And I said, "Well, how old are you?" And he said, 29. I said, "Man, so how many matches?" And that's the answer, right?
Yeah.
And I said, if it's less than once a month for every month for the years, you don't that'd be my biggest piece of advice to these young cats. Stop saying you have 8 years experience and you're, lack of a better term, you're less than a weekend warrior. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It takes, what was it? It took 100 matches just to kind of figure it out.
Yeah. And that's 100 straight, not 100 split between
just to kind of get to the point where, because you always get butterflies, but now you just, when I'm out there, I don't worry about anything anymore. Where before, if a guy called a spot or whatever, you're like, I know where we're going. Once you get to that grizzled point where you just don't worry.
That's just the grizzled point.
The cutoff was got it. Whack. Oh, we'll get back to it, brother. Got you.
Sorry.
Things went. The crowd wanted it. That's my favorite thing. The crowd called it. They wanted it. I had to give it to them. You gotta listen to them. Good stuff.
So, there's few guys that, and I'm sure I'll talk to a bunch of them and girls, but there's few guys that spent time. We'll switch gears because he's always on my mind, and I have a giant picture of him in my bathroom, and it's he's sitting there like this in the hospital bed, and that's Dusty Rhodes, and you had a unique relationship with Dusty, right? But you well, go ahead. Give me a little bit. Give me your feelings on that.
It didn't start out great. I met him deep south. I walked up and introduced myself, and he said, "I only talk to stars." And I was like, "Coach made me say hi. I didn't even want to meet you. Like I was going to meet your heroes." Like I literally was saying under my breath, "Fuck this guy." Like I was hurt. Like my feelings were hurt. Like I was hurt. Like I stood there for 15 minutes waiting to meet him, and he's like, "Hey, baby, I only meet stars." And I was like,
"Right." That's exactly it too.
Well, all right then. I guess I'll go now, and then FCW was started to then towards the end, I cut a promo at a thing, and he was like, then he pulled me aside and he wanted to start talking to me and stuff like that, but I was still like,
gun shy.
Yeah, you only talk to stars. And he's like, "Oh, I'm talking to you," and then I got released and went back to Bodyguard and doing my thing. When I came back, he was like waiting for me. And he was like, "I saw your canvas then, we're going to paint it now." And I spent a lot of time with him, but he was really hard on me. He had the same, you were tough on me because I was a football player and all my coaches were tough. Terms of expecting things and working you hard and pushing you, trying to bring the extra out of you. And Dusty was like that with me. He was very didn't give me many compliments, very few in the beginning.
Yeah.
He'd come out of the office and bury a match I had. I remember I wrestled with Titus O'Neil, and Titus did something and I thought it was funny, and I cracked up and then cut him off. And then Dusty came out and said, "Who the hell are you to laugh at anybody? You've been here before," and you went home.
Right.
And either play or go home. And he didn't talk to other guys like that. So it started, but it was never, "Oh man, he's out to get me. I hate him. He's burying me." It was, "Got it, coach. I got it. I got it." Because he was preparing me, and he would say like, "You're one of mine and you're going to pay for my sins." because I say this guy's better than all your guys up there, and then they're saying he's not our guys, and he never, and we always knew, and he was one of those guys that told me, he goes, for every me, there's two guys up there that don't want you there, and you need to remember that every time you get comfortable. And he was real with me, and then it just kind of, it turned into that. It turned into just me hanging out in the office with him, laughing at the other guys, and making him tell me stories from back of the real stuff, or bringing in, I'll see a match that he had with superstar Billy Graham. I'm like, what the hell was this? You got paid for this? And he was telling me how he used to eat Billy up because all Billy had was like a bear hug and some other stuff, and Dusty wouldn't give nothing. He was like, I was a guest. He was like, the hell with him. I'm gonna get my stuff in, and I did. And I was like, because if you look at that classic bull rope match they had together with a cowbell, Graham got nothing. Like Dusty there was no heat, there was no hold. Like Dusty would like grab it, whop, beat him up, and I bugged him about that so much that he started booking the house shows, and me and Wyndham had Wyatt would have cowbell matches every day, beating the hell out of each other for like no reason other than because I opened my big mouth. And we loved it because we thought, this is where it's at. And then, and we did that when you gave us and I know that video is somewhere where you gave us all an opportunity to come out and recreate a great match. And Hawkins and Myers came out. You don't ever hear these stories about Deep South, so I'm actually going to tell one. And anyone else?
I have that on tape.
But they did Perfect and Hitman, and then it was my turn, and we put together a whole bunkhouse match. And I got stuck with Dan Rodimer, who knew nothing. We just told him he was Sting, like, you're Sting, just splash guys in the corner, go like, how do I do it again? Like, you're killing me. And we tricked Dave Taylor because I was Dusty, and I had gimmicked my bandana to get color. And I remember Dave Taylor going, bastard, he cut himself. I was like, nah, boss. Bradley J had hit me with the boot and busted me open. So, just having fun like that. And Dusty let us have fun like that. But learning the things you learn from that, because you don't think about the spot, don't think about the stuff when you're having fun. And that's basically what he taught me to do. And then when the whole Funkasaurus thing happened, when Triple H came to me, he goes, the old man wants you to be a babyface, and I think he wants you to dance. And I'm sitting there going, I'm gonna die. What? All right. Now, who hates me that much? And I just said, can I just go back and see Dusty and figure this out?
What did I do?
And I come in there and he's like, well, we got this. Don't worry about it, And then he turned on, oh boy, here it comes. And then he turned on moves like Jagger, and he made me dance with him all in the arena while I was just mad. And it just kind of came from there. And then he was like, I said, well, can I get some help? And he was like, well, Naomi, get in here. And then timeout, injury. Your stomach, you okay? Yeah. All right. But like, it's just one of those things where, and then once I got there, he would just come up on a roll and goes, well, I always said, when Brodus smelled the popcorn, heard the crowd, he knew what to do, and there's nobody up here. He's mine, and he'd be like, you're going to pay for my sins, though, because you're one of them. And
I heard him say that
of his, and I was good with that.
Yeah, tremendous. I like, who is that? What are you doing, man?
If you spit that water on me, there's going to be a beating on podcast.
It'd be a free fight on podcast.
You tried to get me.
Get in trouble. That's tremendous.
My son is the 5th member of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so
I could have used him in the Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah. So, oh boy, my son. But yeah, I could go on by him. I miss him. That's my last day with the company. I came, I saw you. You were in meetings and stuff, and I sat out there and listened to Neil Diamond and complained about why Neil Diamond. And he was like, him and I sat there, and he was just telling me, don't worry about you. Whenever he brings up Canvas, I know we're talking about something serious. And he's like, you've yet to paint your canvas, and don't let this place is not where you're going to paint your canvas.
Right.
And then, the next day when I was going to work out, I was going to go train, got the call or whatever, but I was like, and I had already had, how it is when you see stuff, you get feelers out. So
yeah,
I knew I was in good hands, but he was just always, I don't want to say he was a father figure. I think that gets overused. And since I'm not really into the father figure thing.
Right. He was in your corner though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. To the point where it was almost,
you had to earn it.
Yeah. But he was just a great teacher. I don't think people realize that. I think they get caught up in the wrestling aspect of that, but we don't know him during that time. That's a different guy. We know him as he was basically the principal of our school, whether they wanted to admit it or not. But
right.
And that's something that's going to be hard to replace a guy who was. Because usually the guys that are really over, that were big stars, are horrible coaches. They have a hard campaign, because they're what works for them. Worked for them.
I don't see, unfortunately, to that point, I don't see anyone. I think that I always say I think that office stays empty, and I don't see who. Well, there's a lot of people who can, step into that role. I don't see anyone ever doing what Dream did for people, and
he inspires.
Yeah, he was amazing. Not a lot of people. I spent hours upon hours in his office, and him and mine, and him following Butchie on baseball, and we. I don't know if I didn't come from that generation, so for me to say he was a close friend of mine is a huge thing for me. So I just enjoy talking to people who appreciated Dream for who he was, and I kind of knew the relationship you guys had, so I wanted to ask you your thoughts on that.
Because I was, I've always been and he, what's funny is it's like the day that Hawkins and I decided to ask you what Jesus Christ shoot, height, and weight was, and we were getting ready to start practice. Of course, we spent the day outside, but I remember one day after that, and he was like, he just looked at me and goes, "Well, you'd have been all right in my era. You could have rode in my car."
That's it.
And he was like, "I say 5'8", about 185," and literally it became a whole promo about Jesus' height, Christ. He had a little different approach than you did, but we had a lot of good times, man. And he's just. I think when I think about my time there, I had a lot of good times. I made some good friends. I didn't always get to do what I wanted to do, but I just don't really work. I think that's why I don't really look back, Yeah. And now I'm able to do the things I want to do, and have a little more creative control and stuff. I'm finding I'm having a lot more fun. It's just
good.
Well,
it looks like it. It sounds like it. That and the fact, because you said you touched on it when you were out working out. I mean, let's get real for it. What the hell are you doing in the gym, dude? You look great. Lacey said Lacey made a point, and it wasn't even a backwards compliment or something. And she asked me what I thought about, because your videos are great and you're hitting the poundage and your body's changed so much. And she keeps looking at me like, "Are you picking up what I'm putting down?" And I'm going, "What's that supposed to mean?" Because you're killing it. And I'm going, "Hey, look at G's." And she goes, first of all, thank you.
Yeah.
Second of all, what the hell are you doing, man? You look great.
Effective. Like I said, I'll never forget her for yelling at me for Swagger and I attacking the Jimmy arm. But because I was just shocked that you told her that. I was like, wait a minute. We finally had one day in the sun. And what's it feel like to I'm like, what? No, you don't understand. He was the day before he was using my strength against me in my ear going, "You're so strong. Look how strong you are. You're so strong."
Oh man.
But
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. I've been with Mac Rod. I've been at Hard Knock South since 2010. And I have not left. When the WWE parted ways with him, I was like, fine with you guys. I'm not going anywhere.
Right. Because he's good at what he does. Rob is good.
It's for me. That's church. That's where we used to have pizza Domino's on Fridays and stuff like that's throwing weights and stuff like that. It became more of a hobby, and then just like Rob is always talking about changing stuff, and he hooks me up to machines and measures body fat and stuff like that. And before I was like, I kind of accepted the fact that I would lose weight, I'd go up, I'd go down. And Rob was like, you were a world-class athlete at one point when you were playing ball. He's like, you have that drive. Let's find it. And I have not left. And there's a few, like I said, there's a fraternity. There's, it's Cena's gym. It's his house. But, it's myself, Kofi, Gallows, Sheamus is still there. Hutter, EC3, he's up in there. PJ's there. There's actually more. Micah or Camacho, Tavita, like
is Big E still there too?
Band of guys, but like training is we're just gym rats. I mean, that's just what we do. And I loved powerlifting and stuff when I played ball, and I forgot about it. But I just noticed that I'm a better person to be around because I have that outlet.
Right.
I have that, and it's church in there. Like, you can't come in there with a camera, and you can't come in there unless you sign up, because if that's where you are a normal person. And for us, that makes us have, animals and knuckleheads, but that's our church, and that's just where it's at for me. And, I got in the business that we do with the guys that came before us, like yourself and the other guys, like they walked away. None of us are walking out the way we walked in.
Right.
But there's more advantages for us to train so we can walk maybe just without the limp or the arm or the fused neck, because we train different. We have more knowledge and technology and stuff today. So as long as I'm smarter, I can still wrestle. If I stop training, I couldn't wrestle anymore just because the wear and tear and father time starts creeping up on you. But, so it's a lifestyle change. It's
it's paying off because you look great, man.
I'm having fun. Plus, I got to chase, my son and daughter around. So, and he.
That's the bigger thing. That's the underlying thing, because you can snatch a guy inside 20 feet, but you got to chase them kids, man.
He's learning ninja skills now, and I'm not ready to surrender the crown. I'm not ready to say, oh, my son's so quick. Like I let him know all the time. Nope, not yet, bruh. No, not yet. Not today. Not anytime soon.
The running line in my house now is because we have fight night once a week, and it lasts for about 45 minutes to about 3.5 hours. And I told him when he's 10, and I'll say this publicly, when he's 10, I'm going to punch him dead in the mouth, because he thinks he can do to me what I've been doing to people for years, and I can't let it happen.
Yeah, no. I'm relaxing on my bed, and just so you know, my bed is on the floor because I am tired of replacing beds. So it's just, and anyone asks, it's I saw some stuff in Japan. It's good for your back, because I am tired of bump, crack, boom.
Fix, replace.
Sorry. Daddy, you broke the bed? No, it wasn't me, son. I'm not the one doing flips on the bed. But so he doesn't, unfortunately, I don't want to say it in front of him, he doesn't know yet that gravity is already calling on him. But, he wants to be a high flyer. It ain't happening, bro. But bless his heart. Daddy, pick me up. You can fly. Daddy has to bench 550 pounds. His poor grandpa
he's going to have one move off the top rope if he's lucky, and that's it.
But he's 3, so he has moments with, will you hold me? And his grandmother, he's only like 20, 30 pounds less than her, and like you see her try to snatch him. It's just brutal. I can still get him, but putting him in the car sometimes, if you lift wrong, it's like, oh, come on, bro. You got to, and give me
some help.
His mom still wants to put him in the baby seat. And I'm like, the weight is 40 pounds. Like, he doesn't need to be in the baby seat anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no way the police are going to question the size of this kid.
Yeah, like and that's another thing too. He gets away with hell at the like amusement parks and stuff because he's taller than the thing, and they're talking to him like he's 8, like he's 3, lady. He's 3. He sounds articulate because his dad's a big mouth, but he's still 3. So, but I thought that I thought I was gonna miss the kid boat, but this is pretty cool.
Good, man. Yeah, you look happy. You sound good. You look good.
I'm excited. Getting the Greg Gutfield show on Fox was really a big deal for me. Getting a chance to go out there and go against Minds. And I clowned. I owned the whole. I didn't let the other ones talk. I gave them nothing.
Yeah.
I got my stuff in. Now,
where does that tell me, because we'll put it out there. So, and that's the thing. The other thing is
Greg Gutfield's on Sunday night on Fox News. He does the Red Eye. He has his own show on Sunday night on Fox News. So I did the one episode we talked about the Confederate flag and man bun hairs. It's like like a topic thing or whatever. But I just thought at the time they were blaming the Confederate flag for everything that ever happened. And
right.
I just think it's funny that's the issue that comes up. Not, I'm not gonna give you no airtime, but for what happened with the tragedies and stuff like that, the answer was it was because there was a flag hanging down the street. I mean, right. I get it. I'm not. Like I said, and the Dukes of Hazzard had to be taken off TV because it's racist. I was like, what? You know what? As a guy who knows a little something about racism, that's not racist. I never watched Dukes of Hazzard and said, "Damn, those poor white guys running from the white cops. That's horrible."
Daisy's mistreating me.
Yeah, so it was just it's a funny time. So to be on there with these pundits and so-called brains of the world who just sit there with their mouth open because you're funnier than they are, their jokes are terrible. And then he was like, "Hey, I'd make you a co-host if I could," but I'm like, I'm not moving to New York, and I'm not.
But it's coming. Your appearances will start coming quicker.
Yeah, and I did some stand-up. That was fun. But I do that under George. I don't do it because wrestling jokes works for like 2% of the world. Right. So I actually went up there. It was like the guy was like, I did my deal or whatever, and he's like, "You're a comedian? You've toured?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've toured all over the world." "Yeah, sure." Well, I didn't crack jokes per se. Maybe I had one or two here or there, but I got
on the bus and in the plane.
So I'm having fun, man. And then TNA allows me to still do what I want to do.
Right.
And there's been all the turmoil that that they've gone through, but I'm just like, we get to still wrestle on TV. We get to still go out and do our thing, so we don't worry about the other stuff. Because that's the biggest thing is you can't worry about stuff. You can worry about what happens in the ring. You can't worry about anything else. Yeah,
if you can't control it and I've always said, and I just, again, going back to that camp and the young cats I get to talk to, if at the end of the day, if I can wake up tomorrow again and wrestle, the rest is fixable. If you want to wrestle, if there's still such thing as wrestling, but if you can go out there and do your thing and get in the ring and do that, and you get to do that another day, the rest is fixable. And that's just, a crazy way to look at it, but I've always thought that.
If you're sitting there worried about, because basically men locker rooms can either be real cool or it can be a bunch of old ladies just complaining about everything,
Right.
And I'm lucky, we're lucky that our locker room is a bunch of guys who just have to laugh at stuff, and not worry about stuff and just go out there and have fun. And and it's opened a lot of doors to making my Japan debut. I'm going I'm actually, you know what, you'll appreciate this. I'm tagging with Knox in Japan. So that's yeah. So we're
I wonder what a seat to Japan would cost me to go see that.
Yeah, so it's team really elite now. So
somewhere, because I know he's going to be listening to this. Somewhere,
yeah,
Derek's going to be sending me a text message.
Yeah, I did it, Night Kirk.
He's sending me a text message.
Me back
infringement.
Oh, he's hot. Yeah, I know. And somewhere, Eric Perez is a little hard. But I thought Urban Assault. No, bro. Oh, hi, Eric. I just want to say Eric Perez is one of my closest, dearest friends to this day. I'm always thankful to Eric Perez for teaching me how to bump and taking me under his wing. Thank you, Eric. You're the best.
He's gonna call me and want to come on the air and do a rebuttal now and tell everybody how he did help you.
If I don't, what, bro? No, bruh, And you know what though? It's funny because wrestling is whatever, but I can honestly say the one guy who has been my friend no matter what through this entire journey I've been on since day one has been when I got let go that first time. Some guys' life moves on, people do whatever.
Right.
I'll be working for Body. I'll get a text, "Hey man, where you at? What are you doing?" That was Eric. And even when he came back for his trial. His tryout that he complained about forever, and then he's back, and then he realized at that point he's going to be whatever. But I made sure that I was there, just to see him. Eric is and he drives people nuts, but we love him to death. But he is literally one of the guys that I can honestly say, I know no matter what, no matter good, bad, or indifferent, Eric Perez will always be a friend, and that to me, that means something. For as long, because he's literally one of the longest friends I've ever had. He was just texting, "You see Ted too?" "Yes, Eric, I did." And then he starts reciting every line. "I didn't see as many times as you did, bruh. Give me a chance. Let me get it on Apple TV."
He sent me a text. I wish I could find it. He goes, "Hey, don't forget me on your YouTube show, and if you're running shows, let me know."
Hey, coach, good luck. I'm happy for you. He has to say, "Don't forget me. I know you're a big time guy now, and I'm just little Eric." He just can't. He just can't. He's Puerto Rican Eeyore. He just, maybe even when he was tag champs wasn't good enough. I guess I gotta take the heat. Him and Sonny were the most dysfunctional guys I ever been around doing them together because they were both just miserable. But I always think of those times. So those guys, they took me under their wing, and I didn't know nothing. So it's always nice to there's certain guys you say, I know that guy's my friend.
Yeah.
So I put him over,
He's good people. I have fun with him. I don't have fun at his expense at all. He's a good guy.
He doesn't know the difference.
Yeah. So listen, man, this has been great. I'd like to do this more. Preferably the next time you go to South Africa, I'd like to do it when you're down there.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, you know what? Yeah, at least there'll be a reason for the stream not to work.
Yeah, you'll have 10 to 12 hours in London to talk to me.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So what do we got? We got any movies coming up? What else we got going on?
I got I'll do Greg Gutfield. I got some horror movie thing that's coming up. I kind of with everything I've been booked, and I'll start doing more auditions probably towards the end of when fall starts or whatever, because I've been hitting the wrestling's been crazy. It's just been nonstop, and I really, once I got the call from Japan and training and stuff, I just wanted to be ready.
Good, man.
And tagging with Knox, I'm ecstatic. Because I'm thinking in my mind, there's Stan and Brody right there. We got this. You know what I'm saying? Let's go knock some heads.
Be a fly on the wall.
And so I think that's gonna be cool. It's funny, that group of guys from Deep South. There's the core of us. We're all still around. It's funny.
Yeah. I mean,
B team or whatever you want to call it. They're still around and kicking. Swag, Kofi, myself, MVP, Miz. Although
Gallows.
I mean, if you look at that group, everyone's. I mean, even Khali held on until he was down to an ankle and a kneecap. But
I still believe he's there somewhere. I mean, Angel's still doing her thing, and I enjoy that because when I
just saw Bradley J, he just did a run for us in TNA, and he worked the Indian kid and gave him the best match he's had in his career. He didn't fall asleep in the ring either or complain about not getting a chance to eat his oatmeal yet. But
I saw Tommy Swade not too long ago came for a tryout.
Swade was my first Indies match.
It's tremendous. I love to see everybody doing
minutes,
man.
Tommy is not Tommy anymore. I was like, what, you about 280, 285? He's, but he can still, you see certain guys that you say they missed the boat on, but he was a bigger version of Kidman as far as right around the ring and stuff. And even now, I still remember when we got in trouble for this. We were playing two-hand touch football on the weekends, and the big, oh, there you go. Nope, there's no more. No, just relax. And relax. Who was playing football? Oh, so you guys obviously need more practice time because you guys have so much free time on the weekend.
Right.
But,
apparently, we haven't done enough.
Yeah. So no problem, guys. But he smoked MVP. He did. MVP will swear it didn't happen, but I was there. And that kid showed up dressed like he played for the Eagles. I was like, all of us were in baggy shorts and tank tops, and here comes Suede in his official Philadelphia Eagles jersey, bandana, gloves, and this, and cleats. He's stretching. I'm like, playing two-hand touch, right? But Suede was one of the good. He was my first.
Yeah, he's
when
a good guy.
That horrible rib on me because I didn't know you were texting me. Where you at? Where are you at? You gave me you told that I was part of the noon crew, and then you switched it, and no one gave me the info, so you text me, and somebody else is, hey, this is Coach, where you at? Hey, Coach, where are you at? Like, I'm not falling for this. No, this is Coach. Yeah, okay, sure you are. Anyways, I'm not coming till 12 like I was told to, so whatever. And then he's like, check. And I just sat there. Oh, God. And then he's like, you got a match tonight. I'm like, oh, sir, I haven't actually. How many matches have you had yet? Well, that one with Kofi, but didn't really count because I kept hitting him with my finish because I didn't know what else to do. Kept catching him and giving him the deal. And I was like, oh, well, that's great, but you got 7 minutes left. Now what?
God.
And then, and half the stuff, what I'm sitting there talking, and there people in the house are looking at me because they want me to tell the story. But there was the guy, and I always forget his name, and I feel bad. But when he was tagging with Gordy, it was Alton Pepper. What were those guys? Or they were
Damian Steele.
Because we used to have to do reports. America, you gotta know this. I know that all you hear about is the dungeon.
There was homework. And I lost you. Are you there?
Of brothers, African Americans in wrestling. And as another brother, which I was happy to learn all this information, it was forever. It was really long. And we appreciated it because that meant maybe we wouldn't have to bump as much that day or do drills or whatever. But then I was picked out, and they said, and I didn't know that, and I could still learn the names and stuff. And coach said, all right, Rilla, roll in the ring, pick somebody to wrestle. And I couldn't remember anybody's name. And I was like, Black History Month, I'll wrestle him. It just fell out. Like, I'll wrestle Black History Month because that's literally how long it was. And but after that, we were good. Like, that was my moment where I was like, we get it. This place is so bad. And we had a lot of fun. Of course, if you weren't cut out for it, you didn't have fun. In my opinion, they shouldn't have been there anyway. But
yeah,
but whatever. I'll take the heat on that one.
That'll probably be the biggest ongoing conversation for the next.
But
whatever.
But it was a lot of fun. But we had a blast, man. I've had a great career. I really have. Ups and downs, we all had them, but no major injuries.
Right.
Had some highlights.
You have your health. You have two beautiful children.
Yeah, so I'm doing my thing, and I'm good, man. Like, I'm one of the. But there's a lot of us out there that are like that. We don't get much press. All the negative stuff. Everybody wants to talk about it, but it's a different time.
Right, and that's the whole thing about this podcast and the stuff I'm doing on the YouTube channel that we're shopping around, and that's why I'm calling it the Bill DeMott Experience, because I've 28 years around the world, and now I want to sit down and meet the people that I either passed by or didn't get a chance to sit down with. And for me, more so the guys and the girls I know and been through some things with, that life is good and it's not just wrestling gaga, and it's just not the terrible stories. And I want those people. Those are the people, and you're one of them. And when I started this, you were on the top of my list of people I wanted to talk to that have both sides of the story, but at the end of the day, realize what you're doing is what's important, and not so much what other people think about what you're doing.
No, I never, not one guy, whether he hated me or didn't want me there, was ever going to keep me from doing what I wanted to do.
Right.
And if one person who decided I don't like Brodus or Tyrus or whatever kept me from getting to where I wanted to go, that's on me.
That's on you, right?
I guarantee you, every time I showed up on TV, there was at least 10 guys in the back who were like, I just don't like him. I don't get it. I don't know what is he? I don't get it, And but none of those guys ever going to stop me. So
right.
You hear the negative stuff, he was against me. Most guys are. Most people are. The first thing that my offensive line coach told me was, I'm going to see whether you belong here or not. I'm going to do everything I can to put you out of this during these 2 days because I don't know. I don't know about you. Now, if I would have laid down, he would have been right. But then him, when I'm getting my blue chip All-American thing was like, I was wrong about you. You belong. That was always, that was my whole thing with all the stuff. And the stories don't need justice because here's another thing. I was there. And if I didn't want to do something, I didn't do it. And most of the stupid ideas were ours. That's the rib. The guys who be in trouble is us. That's why everyone's like, damn, what the no person comes out and decides, hey, you guys are going to do this or it's a wrap. We were in McDonough, Georgia. Had one movie theater. It had a mall and the Moose Bar. That was it. That was McDonough, Georgia. That was it. So we would be just crazy by when we come up with all of our stuff. But like, if I didn't like something, I never, hey, we want to, coach, we don't feel like training today, so we're going to make a deal. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather train. So I'm going to go sit over here and just enjoy this.
And see where it leads us.
Go ahead and listen to you going, I can't believe this is happening. Like, why are you guys doing this? Like, and me and Kofi would sit there. It always kind of was segregated too. It was always like me and Kofi would just be like, we're good, and just watch the show. And it was always our thing. And if you played football, if you played baseball or basketball, and it was just like that. And I think if a guy, and honestly, this isn't for everybody. And I feel like somehow things have changed where everyone thinks this is for everybody. And anybody who says this is a dream of mine, okay, well, we all dreamed. I dreamed I was going to be an astronaut, but physics just didn't agree with me. Is it NASA's fault? No, but I'm just, I'm very protective about the way I came up because I feel like I fought and scratched for it. So I appreciated it. And all the tough times we went through and almost never threw up in the ring though, no matter how much you guys, especially that first week, the 2-minute drill and making jokes and stuff and finishing the 2 minutes and looking at you guys going in my head, like, kiss my ass. I'm here, but I remember that stuff, but like, it made me want it. You need to be a little scared. You need, I think, to truly be successful at anything. And a lot of the cats that had problems and stuff, if you look at their life as far as sports entertainment goes, they never got out of their little circle.
Right.
And that's not another man's fault.
Right.
That's your fault or the fact that your mirror in your house is really small.
Yeah. And it's not a knock. If that's your thing, then cool. But don't throw it on other people that's your thing.
Yeah, I'm going to get him because I didn't make it because he kept. And if that's what helps you sleep at night.
All right, cool.
Oh, if that's what keeps your relationship going, the chances are the same guys who have those things, the same guys who lose their girls to other. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm just saying in life, if you're not fighting for things will be taken from you and you never get ahead and you and I have had differences. There's a wonderful book out there somewhere that said the only thing good about me, and of course he has it, was my name. And guess who gave me the name? So, and I remember Zach Ryder slid it over to me, stirring stuff, and I was like, Coach, is this my book? Put it down, brother. Come with me. Let's talk for a second. Look, my wife, Mama said that I forgot. I was mad at you at the time, and I was like, "Can I read it?" I'd prefer you didn't. Oh, let's look at it. No talent at all. I was none. No, I said your name. I liked your name because it came to your name. And that's life. Things happen, but I didn't go read that book and then go write a book of my own where Coach said I didn't have any talent, so I didn't go to WrestleMania because Coach.
Right. But when you do, I want my name spelled right.
Yeah, my book's gonna be a pop-up, and I gotta wait for everybody to die first so I can tell the truth. So
to make it easier,
because I don't want any trouble, so I gotta wait a long time for my time comes out. So,
well, listen, dude.
And I always, I'm always I'll take this moment, Coach. I am thankful because John Laurinaitis said no, and you said maybe. So, and maybe was enough. And all bullshit aside, I had no experience, none. And you sat there. I'll never forget. You were sitting there, and he goes, "What did he say?" So he said, he didn't know. He said, "Lose 50 pounds." Because what? And you did this. Well, I see something. So you're gonna lose it? And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, cool." And it worked out. But it
worked out. Man.
Somebody said maybe. Just George, King Biscuit. What's your new wrestling name? Just George. Nice,
Just George.
Nice. We got another one. So, but it was a good time. And like I said, we never hear the good stuff, but those of us who were actually there busting our ass, we wouldn't have traded it for anything.
Yeah, we had some fun. I wouldn't trade it. We had some fun.
It was a good time.
Man, I'm glad we had this time to catch up and shoot the shit a little bit. I always appreciate it, and I'm so happy you're doing good, and we'll do this more as if these people allow me to stay on the air as I get going, as only Bill DeMott can. But I appreciate it. I'm so glad you're doing good. Give them babies a big hug for me, if because I know if I go, he'll probably shoot the half.
Yeah, he'll go. The leg is always there.
But I appreciate you. Travel safe. I will keep following you. You keep following me, and I will meet you somewhere in the middle, my friend.
And Knox and I will send you a text after our match in Japan.
And I want pictures.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Stuff.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, man. Take care, Coach.
Be good, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And that's it. That's a chance to catch up with a good friend of mine. And I say friend, not lightly. George is a good guy, and I hope you enjoyed this part of the Bill DeMott experience. And there's much more like this. I know a lot of great people. I'm going to share some stories. And that's it. That's me signing off. And I'm going to have a catchphrase sooner or later. But for now, it's simple. Do work.
The preceding presentation was brought to you by the Realm Network.